total, Nestle will nearly 6% of its workforce. There's some years of potential job losses in several industries due to the rise of artificial intelligence. Nestle says it's AI in a number of its functions.
Well, I guess we need to welcome Nestle to the Profits Over People playbook party, as they just announced a layoff of 15,000 people. And guess what? This hit an all-time high, or at least a 5-year high. The CEO that took over introduced structuring in order to save cost savings. So I was curious, digging into his compensation structure, short-term and stock performance as badly as the Starbucks one is. It's just amazing how bad and how short-term in size that Starbucks plan is. This one.
What do salespeople hate more than anything in the world?
CRM. Yep. Well, Monday CRM, it's
a few more caveats or milestones for longer term, and longer term being 5 years, which is insane, about everything and the bottom line. And it's going to be quarter over quarter where he's going to get paid. Again, it just fits right in line with where big corporate's going. And again, Wall Street from not being employed there.
Today, Nestle announced that they're going to be 1,000 jobs in the next 2 years, which is like 6% of their workforce. And
got a little buffering. Passive income online is an open door. As long as you're willing to use your mind for creative thinking, to create new sources of income. Everybody looking for mentorship, everybody looking for products and services. What better way than to start your own? And also to learn new skills, high income earning skills, because the world is ever evolving. This stuff is here and it's making a major impact. I have a solution for that. Those of you who are coachable, have 2 hours a day, Wi-Fi and cell phone, I have a Done For You digital blueprint, business in a box, links in the bio. But yeah, let's check it out why this is important to have a situation like this.
guess what that did to their stock prices? It is beneficial for companies to lay you off. And that is why we need stronger worker protections in America. But we can do it. Other countries have. We can.
Well, yeah, the website below.
And here they come with the baby bot bill. If you will stop the trend of mass layoffs, then I should sell you in Baltimore. Listen, mass driven by technology, driven by corporate efficiency, will not go away. Just because you have, quote, stronger worker protections. It's only going to make it more. They've massively underperformed against major rivals. They installed a new CEO, and the new guy in charge is making major. In addition to the cost of living crisis, and because of this, consumers started to tighten their belts. The budget brands saw a rise. Found ways to trim the fat and ditch low-performing brands. Well, that's why after years of failure that came after their peaks, on top of that, you had that scandal with their CEO, Laurent Fresh. a Nestle vet turned CEO. He was with the company and only stayed in that top position for a year before they fired him for messing around with a subordinate.
Nestle CEO was just fired for having a romantic relationship. Not familiar with Nestle? Nestle is the largest food.
And then up the ladder all day long, but that ladder can be broken down. And he was with them for decades, 20, 30, maybe even 10 years. That's a decade, 10 years plus. 10 years at a time. Decades meaning 2 at least, 20 years. So yeah, that's a long time to be moving up the ladder, to be took out the position. It's crazy, ain't it? I don't think that's wrong. Dating a coworker or whatever, I don't really see nothing wrong with it. Especially if they both single and willing adults. But I guess can't be distracted. They don't need nobody distracted with relationships, I guess. I don't know how that goes. To me, I think that's kind of whack. But hey, it's not my situation to go in.
Company in the world, 1,000 items that they sell, food or all these CEOs currently are getting in so much scandals and other things like stealing hats from kids. These people, whatever they want, like they're so high up on the horse that they don't have an investigation. And when this CEO was found out that he was having relationships with that co.
And he talk about reading stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the people who doing fraud and corruption. You know, there's nothing wrong with having a relationship with a coworker. In my eyes, there's nothing corrupt about that. So, what he's talking about that don't apply to this CEO. While he's bringing the CEO into his rhetoric, just to get that clear, like I agree with certain stuff he's saying, but not with everything, because this CEO don't got nothing to do with corrupt companies and stuff like that. You know, Nestle isn't dude's company. He was just running the company, and what he had going on as far as him being in his position had nothing to do with corruption. So this guy, you know, he's just rambling. That's why I say the CEO has nothing to do with his rhetoric about high corporations and company owners or whatever. I understand what he's saying, but that has nothing to do with this guy that he's bringing into his conversation. Nothing to do with what's going on at all. Just to clear that up. I mean, I understand what he's saying, but that got nothing to do with this guy that he's naming.
Worker, he was terminated immediately and received no severance package. You're so high up in the company and you're a CEO, why would you want to ruin that by having a relationship that you know you should not have with a coworker? This guy.
He's saying, and this is the guy that's in question that lost his job as CEO of Nestle. And at the same time, at the end of the day, like, you're free to live however you want to live. Why ruin your career? Why be enslaved to not being able to make decisions, you know? And like I said, maybe he felt the same way. Like, you should be free to date whoever you want to date. Like, why would this company dictate who he like and who we have feelings for? Maybe he like, this job isn't worth my feelings, my freedom, however I feel, whatever, right? And at the same time, if you can work your way up in that company, you can do it in any company. And that's why it's important to invest, so you won't have to rely on companies like this to dictate who you date, how you date, and etc.
Hope it. But yeah, they packed up Laurent Freshy after 4 decades working with the company over a
So 40 years, 4 decades, 10, 20, 30, 40.
relationship he had with a woman. Decades working with the company over a relationship he had with a woman. Ran him right up out of there, replaced him with their new CEO. He just got installed, Philippe Navratil. And Navratil is going all out, making major changes. The first one, he said, "Oh, y'all getting fired." Well, not all y'all, but 16,000. That's about 12,000 white collar positions and 4,000 blue collar positions, citing AI automation as a big reason. You also had the rise in coal to a global shortage caused heat waves and heavy rain in key West African producing regions, which led to crop diseases and lower yields. The automation takeover, others blame corporate greed because to lay off 16,000 jobs, their stock went up. The last few years, we've heard about the cuts in tech, the cuts to be safe. They're now finding out they're not safe either. No, it wasn't just tech, manufacturing, and real estate.
AI, this plugin might change your mind. This is reimagining.
Start saving your money.
And I think a lot of this.
Start living above your means. It's getting serious out here. Now it's bad. 600 to 700 people. Jobs is not permanent. People not permanent. And you know, people live with other people or maybe married and depends on each other. And the first thing you should do when you get paid is put a percentage of your check into savings account. I'm serious about saving and investing. I constantly
it just, you know, like as long as you guys know, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, like my generation.
You're like, long as you know. But you know, you only wise when you know when to use knowledge. Knowing is just cool, but when you don't know what to do with what you know, that's not being wise. Now he's giving her a chance to wisen up. Bringing her awareness already. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of these type of videos I make is about awareness. I mean, give you the knowledge, but what you do with it, when is the time to do something with what you know, right? That's a question, and that's all about discernment. It's all about having confidence and vision. That's the only reason that we gain knowledge, right? Because we have a vision on certain things that we need to know to be able to learn how to move forward, and etc. and so forth. Now, to be wise in this situation is to know, like, right, you know the economy's going bad, the government losing funds, or they're not sure about their direction. And it's important who you follow, no matter who's in the lead position. Our government, our leaders, they're not even sure if they're headed to heaven, which is very scary. I seen the video of the president talking about, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to heaven or not. I'm like, what you mean, not sure? So I know, you know, where you're headed if you're not sure. And that lets me know who to follow, who to pray for, and, you know, it just, that's awareness. So that's how I know when to take action. When you hear things like that, and you also see things that's going on with this country's direction, you will know that we're not headed in the right direction as far as spiritual and physical and all things, especially as far as having peace. That's what this video is about now. A lot of people are worried. It's not to fearmonger anyone, but just to be aware and knowledgeable of what's going on. It's no peace, nowhere you turn. And what do we do about that? We start to create our own destiny. Of course, we all need funds in this world that we live in, and there are ways to make funds without relying on traditional ways of streams of income. It's what this program, it's what this mentorship is about. It's what my community is all about. Learning high income earning skills to give yourself tools when times like this come along so that you can know when to use these tools and to continue to maintain and not live in survival mode. But what he's saying is like basically he's trying to start getting equipped and learn these type of things and put yourself in position she's in a mind frame like, well, what do we do? It's just over. We're doomed. It's funny as hell to me, but check it out.
Aware as like my company literally just did like our 8th round of layoffs in 2 years this morning, where that's how bad things have gotten. Like literally this is my company's like 4th round. Yeah, it's pretty obvious like how bad things are getting in the American economy. No surprise. And yeah, my dad's like, so you guys, like, how's everyone feeling out? And I'm like, I feel like my generation is past the point of freaking out because we've lived through literally like can't stop our companies from laying people off. We do our best to get into other markets, but like every single industry is dying right now. Like, I work in public health. The Trump administration's cut mostly. I have friends, housing commission, and try to help people. They have had insane mass layoffs. They're asking for people to like voluntarily furlough right now. Layoffs. I have friends who work in big tech, AI, Google Soft, who have been laid off. So like there's literally not a single industry right now that's not being affected. And it's like I don't know. If someone want to let me know what we can do. Like my idea was like not electing this administrator at the window. So like at this point, what do we do? Sincerely, a millennial who's been dealing with her entire life.
Okay, so she's a millennial, and I have to say, for millennials, none of this is new. We already know what was going on then. We've seen this movie before. The economy was wrecked during the recession, huge struggle after Bush, and under 8 years with Obama. A lot of it he inherited. Then some things happened under his administration too, and just when it started to pick back up after a long recovery, the pandemic came out where it shut everybody down under Trump's first term. So yeah, for close to a decade, economy as the whole country went through this recovery period. Pandemic era. Inflation, a lot of that was intentional. That's the whole
All right, hopefully we won't have no more interruptions this time. It's an uphill battle. trying to share information.
It's connection between the 2020 lockdowns, the flood of PPP loans, and the benefits that follow. Millions of people won because for the first time they were seeing people started negotiating the highest because companies had to pay more just to get workers to show up. It's crazy how everybody forgot. But that's what corporations had their wake-up call. They realized they couldn't afford to be this dependent on human labor ever again. Progress we thought would take 10 years, happening in a matter of months. It wasn't just innovation, it was desperation. Now the AI era is fully here, and companies are coming back with visions, replacing people where they can. And most folks still don't want to admit what's happening, or they're so distracted, they don't even know what's really going on. A lot of y'all living high off the hog in 2020, 2021, cashing Trump stimulus check, unemployment compensation, the extra compensation that the government takes to. You got super lazy under that last year of Trump, and the first year under Biden. I'm talking about 2020, 2021. You developed a bigger appetite. Some of y'all got just as greedy as the corporations around that time too, negotiating pay that was 2, 3, 4, even 5 times more normal. And now look, my thing is, what do y'all do with all the extra money? Because I saw a lot of y'all on vacations, hopping planes, buying luxury cars. I mean, blowing money faster than being, and now you don't even have a year's worth of salary saved up. At this time, you gotta get serious. It's time to lock in. Digress. Let's go ahead and get a conference. Nestle is laying off 16,000 people. 12,000 of those water positions. Tell me what you think about this. I want to thank everybody who supported this channel. You can show your as well. The post fellas want a balance analysis from
Video.
More boxes, more options. Graves over 1,700 boxes in stock and ready to help you pack, store, and
See what this one.
This is a bit awkward if you have a job right now.
In the tin industry. To lay off more than the employees came.
But after really the most are the meeting going on. That's kind of where we are. There is promise if you work hard, so follow or an entrepreneur. I always know I'll be all. So I try on post that. How human schedule. showed up, did your hours, followed instructions, got paid. Then they made the 8-hour workday famous. It wasn't because he kept yelling. Time exchange work. You can fall on a whole life, buy a house, raise a family. In the 19th, a single income support family. Today, you often can.
There's wolves out right now. That's why I paused. I just want to make sure what I'm hearing. Sound like ghosts. But they say if you can hear them, they can hear you. So I'm like, shit. I need to know what area they coming from. They like around 10, 11 o'clock right now. Maybe 11:45. Doing bitches at. Yeah, that's where I am coming from. So for y'all, in reverse, that'd be like 6:40. You know, if you the circle of the clock and then you face it, the time that I'm telling you, they're at my 11 o'clock. But yeah, I'm gonna push play in a second. I just want to hear where they at. Sound like they're probably getting closer. Y'all hear that dog barking? That means something's close and not supposed to be. My bad, y'all. I'll be a fool phone. Like I was just saying, the signs and the symbols I'm hearing, I know what that means. Can let no wolf renovate me. I agree with her. Like, people get bought out. You can say they sold out or whatever, but they going for what they worth for their skills. They have to learn new skills, learn new traits, and they start realizing what they worth. And like she said, you can't blame them when they go to a different company paying more for them to do what they learn how to do, that they teaching AI how to do nowadays. And it's basically like, if you really want to excel, you would want to learn certain skills from AI or teach AI how to help you elevate certain skills that you already have. But that's a good thing, because another question that she been asked was, who's controlling or operating the AI that's doing these jobs? Because after a while, they're going to need adjustments and upgrades and stuff like that, and they can't do that themselves. Going to need somebody to oversee this AI and make sure it's continuously doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's a good thing, because AI needs us to program it and function it, and it's just software. Okay.